In 1971, Earl Baltus had an idea to put on the biggest late model race in the land. That first late model race paid $4,000 to win. Bruce Gold was the winner of that event. Today, 240 cars and more people than you can count make this the greatest late model race in the world, the 27th World 100. Hello, friends. I'm Paul Davis, and on behalf of Motorsport Video and Eldora Enterprises, welcome to the World 100. In Friday night qualifying action, Scott Bloomquist of Mooresburg, Tennessee, set a new track record, 15.858, taking a tenth of a second off the old World 100 record. That also earned him $100 from the folks at Motorsport Video. In second round qualifying, the 1995 World 100 winner, Jack Boggs of Grayson, Kentucky, was the fast qualifier. Jack Boggs also took home $100 from Motorsport Video. Right now, I'd like to talk to the gentleman, the Earl of Eldora Speedway, the gentleman that has started it all, Earl Baltus. Earl, what gave you the idea for this great racing event?
Well, I wanted to run a big race, and I know you had to put up some bucks in order to get good cars. So at that time, we put up $4,000 to win. In those days, that just wasn't heard of. And we did get a lot of cars, ran 100 laps, and has done nothing but grow since.
Now, what is your impression? Did you ever think it would become this much of a success?
Good heavens, not in my wildest dreams. I never thought it'd get this big. By the way, there's 242 cars that's qualified. That's the record any place, I believe.
That's a great amount. I'm ready for some racing tonight. How about you?
I'm ready to go, so if you let me go, I'll be right on the track. Thank you.
And let's go racing at Eldora Speedway, the first non-qualifiers race for the 27th World 100. Glenn Bradley and Ted Loomis, the front row, with Bill Horton and Greg Lucas in row 2. 15 of the 20 cars scheduled for this event are on the Speedway, and we're ready to go racing here in the early morning hours in Western Ohio. It's Glenn Bradley and Ted Loomis leading the field around into turns 3 and 4. Bradley down low in the 4, Loomis high on the 23. Here's the green. Loomis takes off to the advantage, and we're racing at Eldora. Loomis the early lead with Bradley in second, then the red 32 of Greg Lucas running in third. The field scatters in the backstretch as they go 3 wide as everyone jockeys for position. The racetrack is a little bit slick after nearly 4 hours of qualifying. You can see here on the front stretch 3 wide. Now they go into turn 2, turns 1, turn 2, and everybody tries to get down to 2 wide and make it through safely. You can see the juggling of the Speedway still happening. There's the 3 car. Getting very, very sideways, now becoming more and more single file. Boy, you can really see these cars slip and slide through the turns. We look down the backstretch, and you see the cars coming in our speed shop. There is the second place car. That's the 4 car of Glenn Bradley as he tries to hold off Greg Lucas. Ted Loomis of Northern Illinois, Kingston, Illinois, is really checked out. He's your leader. We're focusing on the battle for second and third right now. Down the backstretch they come here at Eldora Speedway. The field now single file, several laps into our first non-qualifiers race. You can begin to see a slick groove develop in each of the turns as everyone follows that one line through the racetrack, and just a thin air of dust raises over Earl Baltus's Eldora Speedway. There's the 34 car of Justin Paxton as he wants to join the fray in the battle for what is now 3, 4, and 5. You see him working under the black 28 car. That's Sam Epling. Epling in the 28. The 34 is Justin Paxton. And you see another car diving down low and taking a pass. That is the 83 of Scott James of Lawrenceburg, Indiana. James appears to be on the move. Down the backstretch and into turns 3 and 4. Looking to the inside. There's the white car. Nearly contact out of turn 4. As Justin Paxton and Scott James nearly get together. I think there was some contact. We'll follow them down the backstretch. This is the battle for 5th and 6th right now. Ted Loomis, still your leader, hasn't been challenged. We're halfway through. The driver's receiving the cross flags from the starter. Right now it is Ted Loomis, your leader, with Glenn Bradley in second. Loomis with about a quarter of a length of the Speedway on the field. There's your leader in the Bachman Alico car. The yellow 23. This is one of his first years in late model competition. Loomis has raced mostly in a limited late model division in northern Illinois and Indiana throughout his career. He comes from a racing family. Let's go back to that 3, 4, and 5 battle right now. Oh, they get Lewis sideways. It's nearly tapped the wall during qualifying. Several of the cars tapping the wall. In fact, Delmas Conley rolled his car during qualifying. It gets very, very slick up there in 3 and 4. And we'll follow the battle right now for 3, 4, and 5. You see it right there on your screen as they come out of turn 4. 28, Sam Epling. 83, Scott James. And 34, Dustin Paxton. You can throw a blanket over them. James looks to find his way around the 28 Epling car. He dives down low. And it's Scott James moving in that third position. James, then Epling, then 34, Justin Paxton. Great racing here in the non-qualifiers race. Each of these drivers with a little bit of a heavy heart because they have not made the top 120 out of the 240 cars that are here trying to qualify for this year's World 100. Caution on the Speedway. A big lead for Loomis will be nullified as we have a car stopped on the backstretch. Our last caution period for the 71 of Bob Freeberg of Metamora, Illinois, who was stopped to the backstretch. We return to green flag racing. You see the big lead out of turn 4, and Ken Loomis has engendered. Greg Lucas in second. There's the 83 of Scott James as he works to try to take over that second position. We'll follow him down the backstretch. James in the 83 car started outside of row number 4, right now running in the third position. Your starter with the white flag in hand. We'll watch to see if that comes out next time by. Loomis clearly the class of the field here in the first non-qualifiers race. Lucas in second. And the 34, Justin Paxton in third. That is the white flag. 1 lap to go for Ted Loomis of Kingston, Illinois. Scott James makes his pass for that second position on the last lap. Let's watch the yellow and red number 23 come through turn number 4. And Loomis, your winner. James in second. 32, Lucas in third. And the 34 car of Justin Paxton in fourth. A very entertaining first non-qualifiers race here at Eldora Speedway in Rossburg, Ohio, and the Brockman Amico 23. Also sponsored by Hayes Body Shop. Comes home victorious. Your winner is Ted Loomis. 1 to go with our second non-qualifiers race, and some well-known drivers participating in this and scheduled for this event as well, including Ed Dixon, UMP champion, also done some ARCA racing on the pole for this event, with John Weasel Rhodes on the outside. Second row scheduled to be Jeff Wilson and Jackie Boggs. Doug McCammon and Mark Voigt scheduled for row number 3. Not all cars on the lineup for this event have made their ways to the Speedway, and several drivers have opted to start at the tail of the field. So we'll try to keep you up to date here on the second non-qualifiers race here at Eldora Speedway. It is Ed Dixon and John Rhodes up front, however. The field pretty tightly together through turns 3 and 4. Now they accelerate and we're underway with the steal number 6. John Rhodes jumping to winner lead. Ed Dixon down to the inside. It's Jackie Boggs in the 4B car running in third. Then Mark Voigt. Oh, look at that car get sideways. It's Jackie Boggs as he goes down to the low side. Boggs really gets sideways and has to gather it all in. Mark Voigt trying to go around him on the high side. But right now, Boggs continues to hold that third position. Voigt looks down low. Some great racing action early as the field has now strung itself out basically in single file order. John Rhodes, your leader. Ed Dixon in second. Jackie Boggs, Mark Voigt, and the 10 car of George Treffler. 2 number 10 cars in this event. The other is Pete Parker of Kokona, Wisconsin. Pete's back in the field. Now we're going to watch the battle for the lead. Here is Ed Dixon tires warmed up a little bit, looks to the inside, and is unable to get the pass completed in turn 4, but he's not through yet. John Rhodes, many laps around this speedway, and Dixon, many laps around this speedway as well. Dixon continues to press for the lead. He looks better into the turn and slightly better off, but down the straightaway, John Weasel Rhodes continues as your leader. It's Rhodes and Dixon with a substantial lead, about half a speedway lead on a third place car. That is Jackie Boggs. Mark Boyd running alone in 4th. Then the 10 car of Schreffler running a pit. Now you see where the Boggs car tapped the wall and got a little bit sideways. He's gathered it all together. He continues in 3rd as they come down the backstretch. Your leaders, John Rhodes of Ohio and Ed Dixon of Missouri. 23 states represented in this field of cars trying to qualify for the 27th World 100. Right up against the wall. You can see where the wall has been scraped off several times this evening. The dirt has been knocked off the wall by drivers, getting a little bit too close to the cushion. In fact, jumping the cushion. Now caution in the speedway. We had several cars running on the inside of the speedway. This caution, I believe, for the G4, part of the Racing Godsey family. Steve Godsey running on the low side. And we have caution at Eldora. It's been a good battle for the lead. That caution not only for Godsey, but also for the 3 car of Gary Barrow, who is slowed under the backstretch. The field now accelerates into turns 3 and 4. It's Jackie Boggs looking to work the low side again as we're back on the green. John Rhodes, your leader. Ed Dixon in 2nd. Boggs in 3rd, with Boyd in 4th and Schreffler in 5th. A series of white race cars making their way in the 1st through 5th position. Boy, Boggs continues to work his way down low through the turns. Unable to advance, but he sure does get that car a little bit sideways as he goes through them. You have to hold your breath, but that's what racing here at Eldora Speedway is all about. The field is receiving the cross flags indicating it's halfway through. Ed Dixon sees that and realizes it may be his time to move. It took a lap or 2 last time for him to get some heat in the tires, and then he was rapidly advancing on your leader, although there wasn't much opportunity for him to try to pass John Rhodes, and John Rhodes certainly wasn't going to make the space available to do it. We'll watch him now down the backstretch. As you can see, just feet separate the 1st and 2nd place cars. Then it's probably a 10 to 15 car length lead back to the 3rd position, and more than that back to 4th and 5th as they come out of turn 4 and down the front stretch and quickly into turns 1 and 2. It happens that quickly here at Eldora Speedway with the late models and a new track record set earlier this evening. John Rhodes nearly tapping that wall, riding the cushion with that right rear, and Ed Dixon right behind him. Dixon involved in a tremendous crash in the ARCA series at the Atlanta Motor Speedway a couple of years ago. He has got the car turned upside down and turned around on the backstretch. It's good to see he survived that incident well. Continues to do a little bit of ARCA racing as well as racing in his dirt late model down in the tri-state area, southern Illinois and Missouri, and a little bit of racing in Iowa as well on a weekly basis. John Rhodes, your leader, right up against the cushion. The 50 car is really working to try to pass him as they're about to come up onto lap traffic. I believe the field will get the white flag next time by. That could mean an exciting last lap. The field has received that warning. 1 lap to go. Now the white flag unfurls for John Rhodes. Ed Dixon has 1 lap to make his challenge. John Rhodes, just 1 lap to hold him off. Will lap traffic play a part? We'll watch him down the backstretch. There are 3 cars. It isn't lap traffic, but it is tail of the lead lap traffic, and it will not play a part. Here is your winner, John Rhodes, with Ed Dixon in 2nd. Jackie Boggs in 3rd. Pretty good battle for 4th right now. Mark Boyd holds off George Schreffler. Then the red 57 car of Delane Browning round out the top 6. The checkered unfurled, and John Rhodes, starting outside pole of this second non-qualifiers race, leads most of the way. It is the car number 6. Your winner from Ohio is John Rhodes. And our third non-qualifiers race features Joe Rice and Joe Davis scheduled for the front row, with Mike Brecht and Danny Hatcher scheduled for row number 2. Dwayne Chamberlain and Randy Boggs scheduled for row 3. Chuck Harper and Hillard Miller scheduled for row 4. Again, several cars opting not to join the field for the third non-qualifiers. Nicely bunched together. Steady pace with Joe Rice on the front row with Joe Davis on the outside. Davis jumps out to the lead, and we're underway as the field storms into turns 1 and 2. These races have been relatively caution-free, and that's nice to see. Oh, now your leader spins. Your leader in the 2BF, Joe Davis, spins. Looks like the 2 car of Gary Dennis also at the back of the field. Spins to avoid the field, and we have caution as your leader spins in front of the field, but no real damage. We'll have a complete restart. Complete restart now. Dwayne Chamberlain and Joe Rice on the front row. The field accelerates. Here's the green, and Chamberlain jumps out to lead the field down the front stretch. And again, we're racing in Eldora. It's Joe Rice running in the second position. Hillard Miller in third. And the 07 of Todd Newting running in the fourth place with a challenge from the 1987 World 100 winner, Randy Boggs, competing in this non-qualifiers race. Boggs up to fourth and moving. There's the 28 of Dennis Erb Jr. Challenging on the low side. Boy, lots of racing down near the concrete on the inside here at Eldora. Erb Jr. challenging Todd Newting in the 07 car. Here's Hillard Miller in a battle for second right now. That's with the 14 car of Joe Rice. Hillard Miller way down low using that tacky play on the bottom side of the racetrack to make his pass. And Hillard Miller up to second, and quickly it will be Randy Boggs joining the fray as they come down the backstretch. That's 2, 3, and 4. Randy Boggs gets a little bit sideways now, accelerates, trying to catch the 14 car of Joe Rice. The Rat 1 of Dwayne Chamberlain off to a big lead right now. You're focusing on second and third there. That's Hillard Miller and Joe Rice. Very defined groove through turns 1 and 2. You can see it right on the high side, maybe a foot or so off the edge of the wall here at Eldora Speedway. Your leaders now in turn number 4, and the 07 of Todd Newting right into the wall. He was running on the low side, and apparently the car got into some slick stuff, and the car has come to a stop at the top of turn number 1. Newting was coming through the bottom of 3 and 4 and tried to turn and get the car to run in the groove. It did not do so. He tapped the wall and went the length of the front stretch. That's the 07 car of Todd Newting, who was running in the top 5 as he brings out the caution. Out of turn 4, we're back on the green. A battle for the lead with Hillard Miller to the inside of Dwayne Chamberlain. The 14 of Rice also joining that battle. Boy, you can see them all exchanging the sheet metal down the backstretch. Very close action. Several drivers moving to the low side and several drivers jockeying for position. There's Randy Boggs. Randy Boggs up to third place right now, running on the low side. Well, Chamberlain gets a little bit sideways. Boggs moves on him, and Chamberlain on the pace. Chamberlain off the pace, and Boggs to second. Now he sets his sights on the leader. The cross flags being shown to the field right now. Hillard Miller, your leader, but Randy Boggs has stormed his way into second place. Third belongs to Joe Rice. The battle for fourth now, the 28 Dennis Erb. As we focus on your leaders, 53, Hillard Miller, the Fort Defiance automobile. Miller has established a big lead on the second place car. That being the 14 of Joe Rice. The Randy Boggs car has dropped out. I can see him on the concrete here. So Randy Boggs, after a tremendous charge, Randy Boggs is gone to the infield, and now the 14 of Rice is off the pace here on the front stretch with a flat right rear tire. It's a flat right rear tire for the 14 car, and attrition's been a part of the story here. Your leader, Hillard Miller, is coming across the line right now. He's going into turns 1 and 2, and boy, he's got a complete straightaway length lead on the 23J car of Ken Gossard. Gossard inherits the second position. The 77 car of Jeff Harrod running in third. Boy, they've got a long way to go if they want to catch the leader right now. Hillard Miller is way out in front of the field and, in fact, extending his lead. Cars continue to drop out as the white flag is dropped for 53 Hillard Miller. Nearly half a Speedway length lead. There's your second place car. That's the white 77 of Jeff Harrod, who's advanced to second. 28 Dennis Erb Jr. is third. Hillard Miller, your winner, coming across the line, and it'll be another maybe 5-6 seconds before we have our second place car come across. That'll be 77 Jeff Harrod. There's 28 Dennis Erb Jr. coming in the third place. And boy, I'm here to tell you, we had attrition coming through on that last few laps. A little bit confusing, but we're able to bring it to you here at Eldora Speedway. You see the car number 53 moving to the United Midwestern Promoters scales. The car will run through technical inspection, then be declared winner. Your winner is Hillard Miller, as Bob Memmer and the UMP staff check over the car. Hillard Miller, your winner. It's the big night, the 27th World 100, with Matt Miller and Jack Hewitt leading the field around in heat race number 1. It's Dale McDowell and Jack Boggs in row number 2, Wendell Wallace and Scott Bloomquist in row number 3. As they come around turns 1 and 2 in the parade lap, you see some of this huge crowd. This is probably the biggest crowd that has ever witnessed the World 100. You hear them cheering for their favorites in the background as we're ready to go. Miller and Hewitt, McDowell and Boggs, Wallace and Bloomquist. Who will it be in heat race number 1? The yellow 7 on the pole with Jack Hewitt on the outside pole. The pace vehicle is pulled to the infield, so we'll watch as they come around to turn 4 and see how the field progresses. Nerves are high. It's a huge crowd and a huge race. The 27th World 100. Let's watch them come into the turn. The field tightly bunched, and now no start. Yes, it is a start. It is a start, and we're underway with the first heat race in the World 100. Matt Miller out to an early lead. Bit of a confusing start there, but we are rolling. The 17 of Dale McDowell running second. A great battle for third right now, with Jack Hewitt and Wendell Wallace having at it right in front of Scott Bloomquist. 3, 4, and 5 is a heck of a battle. Hewitt taps the wall. McDowell down beneath him. Now Bloomquist and let's see, that's Bloomquist and Hewitt getting together. Several cars behind them stacking up as well, and we have our first caution to Speedway. Matt Miller comes across on the front stretch. I believe we have our cars stopped. And we have on the backstretch, we have the car in turn 2 wall as well. Lots of action. The nerves are high, and the action's happening here at Eldora Speedway. Our caution for Jack Hewitt stopped to the backstretch, and the C3 of Gusty Christenberry, who has stopped in the wall on turn 2. Lots of action on a quick racetrack as we start things off in heat race number 1. Here's the green flag, and Matt Miller beats Dale McDowell down the front stretch, and we're racing again and qualifying heat race number 1. Scott Bloomquist running third, Jack Boggs fourth, and the 6M of Wendell Wallace, who's got a spoiler that is half broken off from an incident earlier in this race, running in the next position. That's the fifth position, followed by Bob Pierce and Joel Kreiderman of Thunder Bay, Ontario. Now Dale McDowell in the 17M car begins to advance on Matt Miller. McDowell hails from Arkansas, Georgia, and he's taking on the Ohio native Matt Miller. Here's Scott Bloomquist as he tries to go underneath McDowell, cannot get the pass made. He decides that, well, I'm already in the show right now. It's not the time to make the pass on the backstretch. The field is stretched out 1, lane, basically on the high side around the racetrack. Here's Bloomquist with a look under McDowell again. Again, no pass. Jack Boggs begins advancing on the backstretch, and we have a car stopped up against the wall in turn 3. That's 51, Joel Kreiderman, the all-black 51 from Thunder Bay, Ontario, stopped up against the wall, and that holds the action. Toledo, Ohio's Matt Miller leads the field down the backstretch. 4 laps in the book. Everybody around the orange cone, right in front of the Eldora Speedway side of the backstretch. Through turns 3 and 4 to the green flag, and we're back underway. The top 3 cars advance to the World 100. The next 4 move to the B8. Everybody else is through for the evening, so it's important to do very, very well in these 50-lap heat races. Here's Jack Boggs looking to the inside of Scott Bloomquist as Bloomquist looks at the inside pass for Dale McDowell. Lots of strategizing happening here on the Speedway. 32 Bob Pierce looks underneath Wendell Wallace. That's the battle for 5th and 6th right now. No pass occurs there, but everybody's trying. Here's Bloomquist as he looks underneath McDowell. Again, no pass, and Will Boggs use this opportunity as Bloomquist gets a little bit sideways on the front stretch to make the pass. Yes, he will. Pierce tries to get under McDowell, can't get the job done. And here's Bloomquist to the inside of Boggs. The third and final transfer position is being hotly contested here early Saturday evening at Eldora Speedway. You can hear the cars thundering by here on the front stretch. Boggs running third, the 1995 World 100 winner. Scott Bloomquist, a 2-time winner as well. I think it's been since 1992 that Bloomquist has won. We're halfway through this event, and right now Bloomquist has not moved himself into a transfer position. He and Jack Boggs with a great battle. Also back in the field, the 6th and 7th position, Bob Pierce, and 71, Don O'Neill, involved in a pretty good battle. We'll try to keep you up there as well, but right now the leaders are providing great racing. It's 7, Matt Miller, 17, Dale McDowell, V4, Jack Boggs, 0, Scott Bloomquist, 6M, Wendell Wallace, 32, Bob Pierce, and 71, Don O'Neill. Here's the battle for second as McDowell gets a little bit loose in the turn, and Boggs begins advancing. The Chubby Bear Gate Company car showing a new look for this year's 27th running of the World 100. Now he'll again go to the low side. We'll watch to see if he can get the traction down low. Bloomquist nearly taps the wall. He is perhaps 5 or 6 cars behind the second and third place car, and right now unable to challenge for position. In fact, his race car looks like he is not performing. Bloomquist off the pace on the backstretch. Bloomquist has dropped to the low side and is going to pull into the back pit area with just laps to go. Just laps to go. Scott Bloomquist pulls in. Matt Miller, you're there. McDowell in second. Boggs in third. It's probably a 5-car length advantage for Boggs over McDowell. Pierce runs in 5th with O'Neill running after that. Matt Miller has led every lap of this first heat race. In the battle for 4th and 5th, Bob Pierce underneath McDowell, who, although he has sustained some body damage in this event, has performed pretty well. Here's the white flag for Toledo's Matt Miller. And now the 17 car shows smoke as he comes down the front stretch. We'll see if that affects performance. Boggs is not challenging that 17 car. Pierce challenging underneath the 6M. We'll watch them as they go through the turn. Heavy smoke pouring from the 17 car. He'll make it across the line, though. Miller the winner. McDowell in second. Boggs. Then the 6M, 32, 71. And then the field slows as they come across the line. Matt Miller, the Low Temp Racing Motorsports Hafley & Son car number 7 will be the car to go across the scales first this evening. Matt Miller wins heat race number 1. As the field receives the 1-to-go signal, we're ready for heat race number 2. Scottsburg, Indiana's Mike Jewell and Wade Knowles make up the front row. Dan Schleifer and Ronnie Johnson from Wisconsin and Tennessee. And then Jimmy Mars, the $100,000 man, inside row 3 with Rick Eckert on the outside. Mars would like to duplicate the efforts of Donnie Moran winning the Dream race and the World 100 all in the same year. Jimmy Mars starts inside row 3, and he's one of the drivers we'll be chronicling the efforts of here in heat race number 2. Roger Baston, Rod Conley, Joe Izzo, and H.E. Vineyard also make up the next couple of rows. Lots of champions in every heat race. 15 laps the distance. The top 3 will move on to the World 100. Mike Jewell and Wade Knowles with a very, very slow movement there. You see Jimmy Mars, who just a couple of months ago took home the big check here from Eldora. You see now where he starts in comparison with the rest of the field. Here's the green, and everybody gets to the gas. Jimmy Mars moves to the outside, and Mike Jewell moves from his inside position to that leadership role. Oh, 66. Wade Knowles and Mike Jewell get together. Jewell corrects. Knowles works his way around Ronnie Johnson and the 24, Rick Eckert, in a heck of a battle right now for that third position. It's Eckert down the low side, and Jimmy Mars looks to stack it up far wide in the backstretch. Both Eckert and Mars decide to get out of the gas and wait for another lap. Eckert up into that third position. Jewell looks to be off the pace just a little bit. Jewell, after starting on the pole and jumping to the lead, has now slid back to the fifth position. Dan Schleifer running sixth. Wade Knowles, your leader, with Ronnie Johnson second, Rick Eckert third. Then Jimmy Mars, who looks like he's going to be chasing down the 24 car. And Ryan Sleeper, then Ron Conley and Gary Stuhler making a rare appearance here at Eldora Speedway. Coming out of turn 4, several of the drivers riding against the cushion. Your leader's doing that. Ronnie Johnson also picking up some ground, working his way through the turns better than Wade Knowles from Tyrone, Georgia. Your leader, Wade Knowles, the magazine sweepstakes car. Your leader, the B1 of David Burks, is pulling down to the inside. The leaders will pass him as Burks will retire from heat race number 2. Here's Eckert right on the tail of the Johnson race car. Right, boy, you couldn't put a piece of paper between them. Both running down to the low side. Johnson knows that passing happens down low. He uses that group to try to block it off. They both slow down, and Jimmy Mars joins the fray. Jimmy Mars from Elk Mound, Wisconsin. Boy, you remember that battle last year with the 89 car of Steve Barnett. The dream wasn't last year, it was just a few months ago. Jimmy Mars took home the big dollars. Now Gary Stuhler pulls down to the inside, and he's about to be passed by the leaders. The white 19, you see him down low on the backstretch as the leaders go by him. And 24, Rick Eckert, suffering some mechanical difficulties. Eckert slows to the backstretch. It's cross flags to the leaders. Eckert is still rolling. Knowles receives the cross flag. Eckert is still rolling on the high side, and we'll see if he decides to pull down to the lower side of the racetrack. No, he will not. That will bring up the caution. The caution's displayed as York, Pennsylvania's Rick Eckert in the orange and yellow Ray Best Excavating car number 24 comes to a stop in the speedway. With 7 laps completed, Rick Eckert has retired. Wade Knowles leads the field down the backstretch. Ronnie Johnson and Jimmy Mars second and third, then Mike Jewell, Dan Sleeper, Rod Conley, and the 84 of Roger Best. And the lineup is the flag, and Ronnie Johnson challenges to the inside of Wade Knowles. The AFCO 5 looks down low, cannot make the pass. Jimmy Mars has the best seat in the house for that action. Mars running third in the third and final transfer position. Ronnie Johnson still running low through turns 3 and 4. And Mars uses that momentum from the high side to try to move up on the second place car. The battle between second and third allows Wade Knowles to establish a little bit of a lead. 2, maybe 3 car lengths. Johnson is not running up on the high side where most of the other cars have been running. The race through turns 3 and 4. He does do at that time through turns 1 and 2. Mike Jewell, a substantial length of speedway behind the 28 Mars car. Mike Jewell is fourth. Fifth place belongs to Dan Sleeper from Wisconsin, then Rod Conley from Ohio. Then H.E. Vineyard has now established himself in the 7th position, passing Roger Best. That's just ahead of Jim Rarick. Now Conley slips in front of the S9 Sleeper car. Action back in the field, and we're still keeping our eye on what's happening up front as Wade Knowles leads Ronnie Johnson down the backstretch. There you see Johnson coming off 2, and there's Jimmy Mars running on the high side. First and second, the red 66 and the white, black, and red 5 of Ronnie Johnson. For the most part, the field has begun to run single file through the field. Looks like the S9 of Dan Sleeper has encountered some mechanical difficulties. He is rolling slowly on the bottom side of the racetrack, preparing to enter the pit area here at Eldora. No challenges for the first three positions right now. They're evenly spaced. The leader on the backstretch goes into turn 3. And with the white flag held high, your starter says 1 lap to go for the Magazine Sweepstakes Limited car. Wade Knowles, your leader. Ronnie Johnson and Jimmy Mars, 1, 2, 3. Fourth place right now belongs to Mike Jewell. Rod Conley in fifth. Then 24, H.E. Vineyard, and 32, Jim Rarick. To turn 4, Wade Knowles, your winner. Johnson takes second, and Mars, the third car to advance to the World 100, followed by Jewell, Conley, and H.E. Vineyard. The last transfer spot to be made, filled by 32, Jim Rarick. Wade Knowles uses that front row starting position to his advantage and has won heat race number 2, qualifying heat 2 for the 27th running of the World 100. Heat race number 3, the Rocket Chassis, the all-purple 00, Booper Bear of Rockbridge, West Virginia on the pole with Robbie Starnes of Clay City, Kentucky on the outside. Kansas's Al Perkey is alongside Missouri racer Terry Phillips, row 2. Billy Moyer of Batesville, Arkansas, and Tony Izzo Jr. make up row number 3. Audie McWilliams and Frank Reber of Illinois in row number 4. Another outstanding field of late model competitors. At the conclusion of this race, we'll be halfway through the qualifying heats, and then it's on to the B-Main and tonight's World 100 as the red Ford pickup truck pulls to the infield. Booper Bear and Robbie Starnes now in control of the field. They'll come to the white line in turn 4, at which point the drivers accelerate, hopefully for 15 racing laps and lots of good racing action. Here they come on a 4. Several drivers move down to the inside. Billy Moyer looks down low, and we're underway. Moyer jumps up to third, now on the high side with Terry Phillips right down underneath him. The 00, Booper Bear, is your leader right now. Booper Bear leads the field through turns 3 and 4. With the 77 of Robbie Starnes in second. Billy Moyer third. There's Terry Phillips to the inside of Moyer. No pass. The 33 of Al Perkey. Perkey runs in the 5th position. Then Izzo Jr. And 10, Audie McWilliams. Moyer continues to work on the Starnes car with Terry Phillips close behind Izzo. Down low underneath 33, Al Perkey. He can't make that pass. Here's Moyer with a dramatic move. Down underneath the 77 Starnes car. Moyer into second place. Now let's watch and see if Terry Phillips uses that move as well. Down low, it's Terry Phillips of Springfield, Missouri, running 4th. He's trying to move on up. Audie McWilliams checks the back of the 33 Al Perkey car, and that's a great battle right now. Back around that 6th position, Booper Bear leads Billy Moyer down the front stretch. It's Terry Phillips to the inside of Robbie Starnes. Phillips makes the pass for the 3rd place. Starnes falls back to ball, running 5th right now. New leader is Billy Moyer as he quickly moves past the Booper Bear car. Billy Moyer of Batesville, Arkansas is your leader and moving away from the field in a very quick fashion. Once he was able to work his way through traffic, Billy Moyer took command, and you can see he has a big lead on the field. Terry Phillips now beginning to challenge underneath the 00 Booper Bear car. Those cars also in the program right now. Robbie Starnes and Izzo Jr. After that, here's Phillips down underneath Bear. They nearly come together at the bottom of turn 2, but no pass is made. One of the cars coming up through the field, the 10, Audie McWilliams car. He's right on the back of Izzo Jr. right now, and we can watch they are just on the front stretch. Pretty good battle between the 16 and the 10. Phillips now in front of Booper Bear. Terry Phillips moves up to the 2nd place, and 2 cars get together. It's 16 Izzo and 10 McWilliams on the backstretch. Both cars slow, but do not stop, and we do not have caution on the Speedway. We do not have caution. Billy Moyer continues a big lead, nearly half a straightaway length now on the 75 Phillips car. Booper Bear is 3rd. Then Starnes in the 77, Al Perkey in the 33, and the 7 car of Frank Reber is next. The contact between 16 Izzo and 10 McWilliams has moved them back in the field considerably, and they're trying to move up into transfer positions, be it the top 3 to the World 100 or the next 4 positions to tonight's B-Main. Billy Moyer of Batesville, Arkansas, again dominating heat race number 3. It took him a couple of laps to work his way through traffic, but he has clearly been the class of the field so far. He's about to encounter some lap traffic, including the 25 of Andy Gensman and the 17 of Shannon Thornsberry. Those are the first two cars he will see in front of him, and Phillips has begun to move up on him. Phillips has not given up hope of winning heat race number 3. As you can see, they're moving into the turn, and the 21 of Moyer begins to lap cars going by the Gensman car, and Phillips is now right behind, dives to the low side as well, and it is a two-car breakaway right now. Booper Bear is safely running in the third position with Robbie Starnes in fourth. Then 33 Al Berkey and 7 Frank Grieber. We have a 5 cars slowed on the backstretch. That's Tony Marks, but he is safely out of the way of the field. We are receiving the white flag now as your leader, Billy Moyer, goes under 11M. Rusty Meisner. Moyer leads the field. Down the backstretch, he'll slip underneath another slowing car. That's 7, Frank Grieber. And Terry Phillips now with contact with the Meisner car as they come to the checkered flag. Billy Moyer with 75 Phillips in second, 00 Booper Bear in third, 77 Starnes, then 33 Al Perkey, 00 Mark Barber, the 1A of Charlie Swartz after that. Several of the cars running in that battle, 5th through about 9th position, dropping out with just a lap or so to go, but that didn't affect your leader, Billy Moyer. You saw he worked his way into lap traffic and easily was able to claim victory. He'll come across the scales now, go to the technical inspection. 242 cars. You heard Earl Baltus talk about that a little bit earlier. Having to go through the technical inspections here before they even began racing. The cars must weigh 2,300 pounds, conform to the appropriate body styles, and of course have the 4 Hoosier spec tires that are required as part of this series. Your winner of the Bazooka base tubes, Big Johnson car number 21, Billy Moyer of Batesville, Arkansas. Heat race number 4, Eddie Carrier and Steve Smith from Kentucky and Tennessee lead the field with Earl Person Jr. and Steve Francis. Then Kevin Weaver and Donnie Moran, Jesse Lay and John Gill also in this field. We've got a number of race cars we'll be watching as they come through the field, including the 68 of Tim Hitt, the 89 of Steve Barnett. As they accelerate to the turn, we're underway. The 3 of Steve Smith jumps to the lead. The 7 car of Earl Person runs to the low side. Donnie Moran already up to 4th. The 15 gets sideways. Ron Gill down to the low side. 4th. He's down to the bottom of right now. Eddie Carrier running in the 2nd place. Steve Smith, your leader. Moran to the inside of Carrier with Gill in 4th. Then Francis. Then looks like the 68 of Tim Hitt on the backstretch. We said he might be one to watch coming through the field. We have a car spinning in turns 3 and 4. That's the 33 car of Jesse Lay. Jesse Lay has spun and come to a stop at the bottom of turns 3 and 4. And we have caution in the Speedway for the white and blue 33 of Jesse Lay. As we resume the action, the 3 car of Steve Smith on the point with Carrier 2nd, Moran 3rd, followed by Gill and Francis. Jim Hitt, they might dive down to the low side. Obviously, that appears to be the place to pass. Kevin Weaver down low underneath Earl Person Jr. That's a pretty good battle going on back in the field. Right now, the 3 car, your leader is Steve Smith. But Donnie Moran quickly changing the standings. Moran dives to the low side. In Dresden, Ohio's Donnie Moran, Julius Smith in 2nd, and John Gill of Mitchell, Indiana now advances to 3rd. Carrier running 4th. Francis, then Hitt, then Weaver. That is the lineup. We have caution in the Speedway again. I believe it's for the 2 car of Steve Cornelius, who draws the caution to the Speedway. We'll watch to see how this affects the last scored lap lineup when we return to racing. Jack Pennington, the 01 car, also involved with that incident, bringing up the caution as Donnie Moran leads the field. To green flag racing, the green flag held high, and John Gill passes for 2nd underneath the Smith car, and Francis looks to try to get underneath the Smith car as well, as we're back underway with green flag racing. Boy, a couple of grooves of racing tonight here at Eldora Speedway has made for some great heat races so far. And we hope a great World 100 later this evening. Donnie Moran and John Gill have checked out the battle for third between Steve Francis and the red 15, the black 3 of Steve Smith of Powell, Tennessee, Tim Hitt of West Virginia, and Kevin Weaver of Illinois right behind those two, continuing to advance on the field. Now it's side-by-side out of turn number 4, but Smith continues to hold off Steve Francis. That's the battle for the final transfer position. Smith right up against the wall. So's Francis. And right behind Francis, Tim Hitt in the Dream Engine 68. And then Kevin Weaver in the Pizza Hut Lynn Chevrolet B12. That's the close battle on the Speedway, 3rd through 7th. All right in a row, right down the backstretch. Donnie Moran with a half a Speedway lead on 75 John Gill. And then these 4 cars are 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. You see Tim Hitt looking inside Steve Francis, taking down the turn. Francis forces Hitt to use the low side as he tries to run the middle of the racetrack. Cross flags, a lot more racing action. Now the 68 of Hitt gets a little bit sideways off turn 4, and former UMP champion Kevin Weaver uses that to his advantage to take his Gibson City-based race car up another position. Oh, trouble in turn 2. The 01 and 33 get together right in front of your leaders. Oh, and it collects the second place car of John Gill, 75. Jack Pennington had stopped when the 75 of John Gill tried to make his way around. 99 Moran was also already in lap traffic. It's taken the side of the body off that race car, and John Gill, running second in this heat race, has had misfortune befall him as Jack Pennington's car was in the Speedway. He could not move out of the way, and an unfortunate caution at Eldora. 3-time World 100 winner back in 89, 92, and the defending champion is also 96 on his list of victories. Donnie Moran is your leader as we're back to racing with 8 laps of this 50-lap heat race in the book. 15, Steve Francis has jumped up to second. You can see Francis in a battle right now with the B12 of Kevin Weaver. The 3-car of Steve Smith also involved. Boy, lots of passes. Second through about 6th or 7th has really jumbled up. Moran, your leader, but Kevin Weaver of Gibson City has jumped all the way up to 2nd place. As those cars really jumbled up on the start, Weaver uses it to his advantage. Weaver to 2nd. It looks like, I believe that's the 15 Francis car running 3rd right now with 3 Steve Smith in 4th. And then the 11 Jerry Bowersock up to 5th with Tim Hitt and Steve Barnett after that. Moran, your leader, the lap car, the 33 car of Jesse Lay. After that, then Kevin Weaver as they come across the line. Then we watched them go into the turn. There's the 11 Bowersock car with 3 Smith right in front. Moran coming across the line right now in his GM Performance chassis car. Moran, your leader. Weaver running in 2nd, making his way around Jesse Lay, and Francis in 3rd. No real battle there. 4th through 7th is pretty tight on the Speedway right now. They're just going into turns 3 and 4 right now. That's the lap car of Jesse Lay right there. Right in front of 3rd place runner Steve Francis. Right there is 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. 3 Smith. 68 Tim Hitt as the leader receives the white flag. There's 11 Jerry Bowersock as well, your leader up in turn 2 right now, as he's already taken the white flag and is heading down the backstretch into turn 3. 99 Donnie Moran of Dresden, Ohio. Boy, he's seen a lot of checkered flags here at Eldora Speedway. He's seen another one. Donnie Moran is your winner, with B12 Kevin Weaver in 2nd, 15 Steve Francis in 3rd, and 3 Smith, 68 Hitt, 11 Bowersock, and 89 Barnett unofficially after that. Boy, you see him, the 99 car running down through the mud down there. These cars have to weigh at least 2,300 pounds. If you go across the scales light, then you are disqualified. What's one of the ways all the drivers make sure that their car is up to weight? Well, they run down through the mud, collect a little mud after the racing action. Of course, they've burned off a little bit of fuel during those heat races, and they want to compensate for any possible weight loss. The GM Performance, number 99 from Dresden, Ohio, your winner. You see him on the scales right now. There's Donnie Moran. Behind the pace vehicle, this is the 5th heat race. Clint Smith and the Flintstone Flyer. Mike Duvall in the front row. Rick Auckland, who's really been tearing up dirt late model racing this year, winning many, many races in the 12 car. Inside row number 2 with Kentucky's Darrell Lanigan outside. Marshall Green and Skip Arp after that. Then Greg Williams and Brian Stinson, John Lawhorn, Jerry Rice, Brian Dunaway, R.J. Conley, Steve Kosiski, and Billy Drake as well. Lots of big-name race winners involved in heat race number 5. Only the top 3 move on to the World 100. Clint Smith, Mike Duvall, the Flintstone Flyer, and the green flag back to racing in Eldora. Lanigan follows the Flintstone Flyer, Mike Duvall from Cowpen, South Carolina, into turn 1, and it is the Flintstone Flyer, your leader. Mike Duvall operates his own racing business and loves to go racing. Cherokee Landscaping on the right rear quarter panel. He's being challenged right now by Union Kentucky's Darrell Lanigan. Pretty good challenge, too, right now. Lanigan right down underneath, and neither of them are slipping and sliding. Smith, who started on the front row, back to 4th behind the 12 of Rick Auckland. Auckland currently running in 3rd. Then it's the yellow 89 of Marshall Green. Green getting by the 12 car of Rick Auckland. Field now. There's Lanigan, your leader, with the first Flyer in 2nd. 31 Skip Arp is running in 3rd. Might have misidentified that car a little bit earlier. It is Skip Arp running in 3rd, and we have a car slowing here on the front stretch. It is the 17 car of Greg Williams bringing out the caution. Well, lots of changes. Lanigan getting in front of the Flintstone Flyer. Misidentified Skip Arp, both he in the black 31 and 12. That's the black 12 of Rick Auckland. Have very similar looking cars, but we'll watch for their progress as the race continues here at Eldora. So Darrell Lanigan leads Mike Duvall, Skip Arp, Clint Smith, Rick Auckland, Marshall Green, and the 12 car of Brian Stinson. That's the white 12. Boy, look at the cars just really jumbled up for those positions as well. Back to racing action. Got a car spinning on the front stretch. That's the blue 6 race car of Jeff Treese. I don't think we're going to have caution as Treese gets it rolling. Lanigan with a big lead on the Flintstone Flyer right now. Skip Arp running 3rd, then it's Clint Smith. Running in 4th, and 12 Stinson after that. 29 Lanigan with a big lead on the Flintstone Flyer, Mike Duvall. Skip Arp is running in 3rd right now. One of the surprises is we have a spin, couple of cars spinning at the bottom of turn number 2. One of the surprises of this race is that 12 Rick Auckland has not advanced much in this race. The Easy Crusher 12 has not moved up very much in this event. We see that it's the car 89. That's Marshall Green. Can't see the number on the other car that's involved in this right now in turn number 2. We'll get that for you when we return to racing. Darrell Lanigan leads the field. It's the F1. Ball running in 2nd. Rod Conley, the 71. Second, it was R.J. Conley in the 71C. It was also part of the incident that brought our last caution period. Here's racing back again at Eldora Speedway. 31 Skip Arp down to the inside of the caveman, Mike Duvall. But the battle we're really watching right now is the battle 4th through 7th. As Rick Auckland and Clint Smith having a great battle on the low side. The 1B of Jerry Rice has also been moving very nicely through the field, as has the 12 of Brian Stinson. That's the white 12. And we'll try to chronicle what happens there. Stinson right now is in the 4th position. 1 Rice in 5th. Then it's 12 Auckland and 4 Lawhorn. So they have really been moving up through the field in a quick fashion. Darrell Lanigan has established a good lead for himself on F1. Mike Duvall, who's felt pretty steady to that 2nd position. 31 Skip Arp and 12 Stinson. Here's Stinson with a challenge down to the low side, and Stinson makes the pass in front of the cross flags. We're halfway through. That means we have 7 more laps to go in our 5th heat race. Remember, this is for the outside pole of the 27th running of the World 100. Now a battle, a challenge again, as the 31 car of Skip Arp gets together with 12 Stinson. Stinson slides up and taps the wall, and Skip Arp reclaims the 3rd position. This all happening in front of 1 Jerry Rice and 12 Rick Auckland. Auckland running down the low side, but at full speed. He's not trying to run up high at all. Several of the cars starting down the low side. You see Stinson in the 12 doing that, and then just sliding right up, especially out of turns 3 and 4. Skip Arp continues to try to look to make a pass underneath the yellow and red F1 of Mike Duvall. Stinson down low underneath Arp. What a great battle for 3rd and final. Transfer position, no pass again. And there's the 1B of Jerry Rice. We said he's come up through the field. Now Rice and the 12 of Stinson get together. Stinson turns it sideways, and Ron Kosiski loses a wheel and comes across the side. You see the smoke coming from the car stopped over in turn number 2. That's the 12 car of Brian Stinson. There's Kosiski coming to a stop in front of the G.W. Pierce sign. Lots of action, and we have another caution in heat race number 5. The battle for the outside front row pole position continues. Heat race number 5. 29 Darrell Lanigan F1. Mike Duvall, 31 Skip Arp, 1, 2, and 3 as the green flag flies. But here's the 1B of Jerry Rice. We told you he's been moving his way through the field, challenging. And now 12 Rick Auckland to the low side as well. Auckland challenges for the 3rd position. You can throw a blanket over all of them. Boy, look at Auckland right down there on the low side, following the 31 Curtis Equipment car of Skip Arp. Lots of action, whether you're running the high side or low side here at Eldora. R.J. Conley, involved in a wreck earlier, is really making his way through the field as well. He's up to about the 7th position and also advancing nicely through the field. Lanigan, again, a good distance as your leader. 2nd place, the F1 of Duvall, battle for 3rd right now with the 1B of Rice and 31 Skip Arp. 12 Rick Auckland, who's moved to the high side. 4 John Lawhorn as your leader gets the white flag. It's Darrell Lanigan, who's also branched out from dirt track racing to go into some other forms of racing and to expand his racing career. Your leader, and I think he'll be your winner. And he raced number 5 at the 27th World 100. Darrell Lanigan of Union, Kentucky, your winner. With the F1 of Mike Duvall 2nd, 1B, Jerry Rice in 3rd. Then 31 Skip Arp, 12 Rick Auckland, 4 John Lawhorn, and 71 R.J. Conley. And look at all of those drivers dive down to the low side to run in the mud. Add a little extra weight to their car. There's Darrell Lanigan, who will be the winner of this event as they make sure their car comes up to weight. If you're just a little bit light, it's very, very expensive, so it's worth that time taken to go across the scales. Your winner in the 29, Darrell Lanigan. Final heat race with 45, Gary May of Mononk, Illinois on the pole, with St. John, Michigan's Chris Patterson on the outside. Bob Pullman of Oak Lawn, Illinois, and David Gibson of Ashflot, Arkansas in the next row. Then Millersburg, Ohio's John Mason, and Kings Mountain, North Carolina, Freddie Smith after that. Then Shane Yoder and Steve Shaver. The racing farmer, Roger Long, and Donnie Barnhart after that. You'll notice the 45 car on the pole and the 36 car of Long are similarly painted. They are team cars and run for the same sponsors. Here's the green flag, and we're underway. Chris Patterson gets the jump on the 45 May, and we're underway with the 6th and final heat race here at Eldora Speedway. Patterson, your leader. It's May in 2nd. Oh, Patterson in the wall! Patterson taps the wall. 45 May takes the lead. Mason falls in behind the 0 car of Patterson for 3rd. Then it's 27 Pullman, the G1 car of David Gibson. After that, then it's the 8 of Shane Yoder, and Yoder involved with the 00 Freddie Smith. Boy, we've got lots of action here and many more drivers than the previous race running on that low side. Apparently, they found something down there. Bob Pullman to the inside of Zero. Chris Patterson down the backstretch. Pullman with John Mason right behind, and David Gibson about to join that fray. That is the battle. Second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. As Shane Yoder gets involved, the 72 Mason car gets a little bit sideways out of turn 4, but he collects it up. Meantime, Pullman underneath Patterson. Pullman to second, Patterson third, Mason fourth, then Gibson, Yoder, and Freddie Smith. Gary May in the Tampico Citrus Punch 45 has jumped up to a big lead, but he slows in the punch. He's lost the drive shaft. The drive shaft sitting in front of the flag stand. Gary May loses the drive shaft while leading, and we have caution. What a terrible break for this Minot-based racer, Gary May. You see it laying right down here on the front stretch. You can see it pop out of the race car, and that means caution period number 1 and heat race number 6. We'll see who claims their inheritance, which will be the lead of heat race 6 in just a moment. It's Bob Pullman Jr. of Oak Lawn claiming his inheritance. And Bob Pullman Jr., your leader out of turn number 4 as we're back to green flag racing. Chris Patterson looks to Pullman's inside and will use a better cornering maneuver off of turn number 2 to establish a half car length lead on Pullman. There's John Mason of Millersburg, Ohio, moving up high. And Mason tries to go past, but unable to get the job done. Freddie Smith underneath Shane Yoder. Freddie Smith with the 0-0 up to 4th and coming through the field nicely. David Gibson in the G1 and Shane Yoder also wrestling for the low side. Pullman and Patterson with a battle for the lead in turn number 6. Everybody could reach right down and touch the concrete on the inside of the racetrack. Pullman on the high side, Patterson on the low side. Mason running in third. Then Freddie Smith in the 0-0 fourth. 8 Shane Yoder and 30 Steve Shaver. Then the G1 of David Gibson and 11 Donnie Barnhart. Your leader out of turn 4, 27, Bob Pullman, second-generation driver for the First Financial Concepts Fox Valley excavating car. Pullman got in this race car and this race team about a month and a half ago. And this is one of their highlights for the 1997 racing season, leading heat race number 6 here at Eldora. If he wins here, he'll be on the front row of the World 100. John Mason in second, Patterson down low, but the battle for third's a good run as there's the 0-0 of Freddie Smith going around Patterson, and now Shane Yoder tries to follow him through as well. Shane Yoder unable to get the job done. You see him tap the wall as the sparks fly. Yoder to the inside of Patterson. And it's now Yoder into 4th, and Steve Shaver will now make that try to make that pass for that position. A couple of yellow race cars running 4th and 5th right now. The yellow 0 of Patterson, the yellow 30 of Shaver. Here's your leader with John Mason beginning to move up on his outside. Mason may be the faster race car, but Pullman is right in the groove that needs to be run. We'll watch to see what happens as down the backstretch they come. We'll see if Mason's able to get off the turn in a quicker fashion. It's Pullman, your leader, with Mason in second, then Smith and Yoder, then Shaver, Patterson, and 1 CJ. Running after that. Battle for third with Shane Yoder, the inside of Freddie Smith. No pass made, and Yoder pulls back into line. Remember, the top 3 advance. 4, 5, 6, and 7 go to the country, so it's important to end up in the top 3 if you can. Down the backstretch with Pullman, your leader. Mason in second. Smith has given up running the absolute high side. He's running through the middle part of the turn right now, perhaps trying to conserve those tires. Mason still right behind Pullman, but has not been able to make past Pullman. Down low, protecting that lead. Driving the wheels off that 27 car. He's making it very, very wide. The laps are a precious few at this point in time. There's John Mason for the lead. Mason makes his way around right underneath the flag stand. Mason, your leader, with 27. Pullman second, and Freddie Smith in third. Shane Yoder in fourth. Steve Shaver and Chris Patterson running in the 5th position. White flag is out this time by for 72. John Mason with Pullman in second and Smith in third. We'll watch to see if there's a challenge for this third and final transfer position. Everybody's been running up very high on the wall, especially into turns 3 and 4. 4. Let's watch them. They may get out of the gas this time through as they don't want to take the chance of losing a position. You can see smoke sparks from the 30 Shaver car as John Mason is your winner. With 27 Pullman second, 00 Freddie Smith third, 8 Shane Yoder 30, Steve Shaver 0, Chris Patterson after that, and heat race 6 is completed quickly and efficiently here at the 27th running of the World 100. He didn't lead all the laps, but he led the most important one, his first World 100 victory. Your winner from Kings Mountain, North Carolina is, I'm at the wrong race here. This is the car number 72. Let's get it right. This would be his first World 102 in the car number 72. It is John Mason, your winner. The B-Main, the last chance race for the 27th World 100. It's 6 Wendell Wallace and 71 Rod Conley on the outside. Second row, Robbie Starnes and Steve Smith. Row 3, Skip Harp and Shane Yoder. Row 4, Bob Pierce and H.E. Vineyard. 5, Al Perkey and Tim Hitt. 6, Rick Auckland, Steve Shaver. 7, Don O'Neill, Jim Rarick. 8, Mark Barber and Jerry Bowersock. 9, John Lawhorn and Chris Patterson. 10, Ed Carrier Sr. and Lance Mathies. 11, Charlie Swartz and Steve Barnett. And 12, R.J. Conley and Mark Miner. 15 laps the distance. The top 4 will join the field for the World 100. Everybody else will sit down and enjoy this with us. The Capacity Plus crowd now gets ready for the start. You can see them moving nice and slowly, waiting until they get to the white chalk line before accelerating. It is Rod Conley on the outside, Wendell Wallace on the inside, and we're racing at Eldora. The field storms into turn number 1. Rod Conley of Wheelersburg, Ohio, your leader, with Wendell Wallace of Batesville, Arkansas in second. Wallace right on his tail. We have Shane Yoder tapping Wallace going down, but he does not stop. Stevie Smith running third. Robbie Starnes fourth, at H.E. Vineyard, and Bob Pierce. Shane Yoder is slowing. He is going very slowly now in the top of turn number 4. We have a caution. It's the 8 car of Shane Yoder of Holland, Ohio, who started outside of row number 3. He tapped the wall midway through 3 and 4, and now comes to a stop at the bottom of turn number 4. Shane Yoder brings out the caution after lap 1. It is Rod Conley, your leader, with Wendell Wallace second, Smith in third, Starnes fourth, H.E. Vineyard, and Bob Pierce round out the top 6 as we return to racing action. Into turn 1 we go. Like watering the racetrack to make sure that the race fans are here in the record numbers don't receive too much dust between the 6th heat race and the beginning of this race. That allows drivers to run up a little bit on the higher side, keep them off the bottom. It's so far up. And listen to that. We're checking them up there, second, third, fourth, and fifth right now. The leader is 6M. Wendell Wallace with 71, Conley in second, Smith in third. It's Pierce in the 32 to the inside of Robbie Starnes. Wallace is beginning to check out on the field right now. Smith now to the inside of 71 Conley. Rod Conley tries to hold him off, running right down a little bit lower line than he's been running. Now Conley holds it off. We have a caution in a spinning car. I think that's Charlie Swartz in the 1A. We'll have to look closely to see, but I think that's the 1A of Charlie Swartz that has spun and brought the caution to the B-Main tonight at Eldora. Wendell Wallace, your leader, 3 laps completed in our B-Main with Rod Conley, then Steve Smith, and 77 Robbie Starnes right now in the bump position. Bob Pierce, H.E. Vineyard, Jim Rarick behind those cars, and as they accelerate into the turn, the green flag unfurls here on the front stretch, and we've got more great racing action here at Eldora. Bob Pierce working on the 77 Starnes car. There's the move down to the low side. Pierce trying to make the World 100 on the low side of the backstretch. Hasn't got the pass done yet. Right behind Pierce is a battle between the 24 of H.E. Vineyard and 68 Jim Hitt and 32 Jim Rarick. Hitt is the mover and shaker there as he tries to get underneath the 24 of Vineyard, as Jim Rarick is trying to go around him on the high side. Here's Pierce to the low side of the turn 4 as he tries to get underneath the 77 Starnes racing out. Ooh, there's contact with Jim Hitt and H.E. Vineyard. That's the battle for 6th right now as Pierce and Starnes are side by side in the battle for 4th. We have a car stopped on the racetrack. Caution, we have a white car stopped at the bottom of turn number 4. And that stops some great racing action here in the B-Main. Mark Miner brings out the caution. 5 laps now in the books as we return to racing. It's Bob Pierce to the high side of Robbie Starnes. Pierce out to 4th right now, and a guy that's been making his way through the field nicely. 68, Tim Hitt is underneath Robbie Starnes as Bob Pierce goes under Steve Smith in the battle for 3rd. 3rd and 4th side by side down the backstretch. There's Pierce in the Murphy car number 32. Smith in the black and white car number 3. Smith now up to speed. He got a very good start last time by. He's able to hold off Pierce now. Starnes in the 5th position and Tim Hitt in 6th. Meanwhile, Wendell Wallace is checking out on the field. He takes his blue race car, a 6M GRT race car, across the line in fine fashion ahead of Rod Conley, who's settled into 2nd. Pierce moves through turns 1 and 2 better than Smith does, and it looks like Pierce may assume 3rd place. The tall, cool one and former UMP champion from Danville moves into 3rd position as we have some cars that are tapping the wall. Tim Hitt tapped the wall, as did 32 Jim Rarick, sending sparks in turns 3 and 4. None of those drivers, however, stopped. They just kept right on going. So the cushion right up against the wall, and we'll watch to see what effect that has here in the race. Now Pierce in a battle for 2nd passes Conley. Cars that look very similar, white and red. Bob Pierce, the pride of Danville, Illinois. Bob Pierce to 2nd place with Conley in 3rd. And the battle for 4th right now with Smith trying to hold off 68 Tim Hitt and 77 Starnes. That battle right down the low side. You see him coming out of turn number 4. It's Smith, Hitt, and Starnes. That's the battle for the 4th and final transfer position. Great racing action here at Eldora. We'll watch those cars in the back stretches. Cars 1, 2, and 3, positions 1, 2, and 3 have begun to stretch out. The real race on the racetrack right now is to race for an extra 100 laps. Finish in 4th, you race an extra 100. Finish in 5th, you sit down in the grandstand and join this great crowd. It's Smith on the high side, Starnes on the low side, and Tim Hitt tries to be the meat of the sandwich. He'll go wherever it takes. He'll go high this time, and they're 3 wide on turn number 4. Tim Hitt takes the rocket chassis train-powered car to the 4th position. Tim Hitt, who has moved through the field consistently during this race. Tim Hitt now in 4th. We have a challenge for the lead in turn number 4. It's Bob Pierce down to the inside of Wendell Wallace. It'll be a white flag next time by. That was shown to both Wendell Wallace and Pierce. Wallace guards the low side with Pierce running in 2nd. It's 71 Ron Conley 3rd, 68 Tim Hitt in 4th, then 77 Starnes, and we have 1 lap to go. It's Wallace, your leader, with Pierce in 2nd. Challenge for 3rd into turns 1 and 2 as Tim Hitt looks to the inside of Ron Conley. Out of turn 2, Conley takes the position, but we'll watch him come through. Wendell Wallace of Batesville, Arkansas leads the field to the checker, and Wendell Wallace, your winner, with Bob Pierce in 2nd. It's Rod Conley 3rd, the 4th and final transfer position to Tim Hitt. Then 77 Starnes, 3 Smith, 11 Bowersock. What an exciting race. The field's now set for the $30,000 to win World 100, the 27th edition, the most prestigious race in dirt late model racing. You see them all running down on the low side, trying to get a little extra mud on their tires and on their car, make sure they come up to weight when they go to the scales. Manned by the officials of the United Midwestern Brewers Organization, your winner from Batesville, Arkansas, Wendell Wallace. And here's the field for the 27th World 100, starting at row 12 on the outside. The car number 68 from Weston, West Virginia, in a rocket chassis, Tim Hitt. Inside row number 12, the 71R from Wheelersburg, Ohio. Also in a rocket chassis, it is Rod Conley. Moving to row number 11 on the outside, in the car number 32, the Murphy Trucking 32. It's a Masterbuilt chassis for Danville, Illinois' Bob Pierce. And from Batesville, Arkansas, in a GRT chassis, the car 6M is Wendell Wallace. From York, Pennsylvania, in a Rayburn chassis, the Ray Vest Excavating car number 24. The drive it is Rick Eckert. Our fast qualifier tonight, the Cornet Racing Engines 0 from Mooresburg, Tennessee, Scott Bloomquist. In the Christenberry Trucking and Farms car number 00 in a DRT chassis, Freddie Smith from Kings Mountain, North Carolina. From Verona, Kentucky, in the 1B, a Warrior chassis for Jerry Rice. It's a rocket chassis for the car number 15, Steve Francis from Ashland, Kentucky, in the Ashland Automart 15. From Rockbridge, Bass, West Virginia, in the 00, it's a rocket chassis for Booper Bear. A Masters-built chassis for the Morgan's Fine Foods 9, a Mike Jewell. In the B4, a Masters-built chassis for Grayson, Kentucky's Jack Boggs. In the car 27, the Fox Valley Excavating, First Financial Concepts 27, a Masters-built chassis from Oak Lawn, Illinois, Bob Pullman. In 1982, the winner of the World 100 starts inside row number 6. The F1, the Flintstone Flyer, is Mike Duvall from Gaffney, South Carolina. Outside row 5, the Pizza Hut, Precision Plastic Products, Lynn Chevrolet, all Will County Auto Wreckers, B12 from Gibson City, former United Midwestern Promoter Series champion Kevin Weaver. Doug Jones Realtors, one of the sponsors in the car number 75, a GRT chassis for Springfield, Missouri's Terry Phillips. Outside row number 4 from Elk Mound, Wisconsin, he was the winner of the Dream this year, taking home $100,000. Bud Ice, Hoosier, Snap-on Tools, a Masters-built chassis for Jimmy Mars. In the car 17M, a GRT chassis from Rossville, Georgia, Dale McDowell. From Toledo, Ohio, the Low Temp Brazing Motorsports, Whaley & Son, car number 7M. It's a rocket chassis for Matt Miller. His home is Chattanooga, Tennessee, a Masters-built chassis for the AFCO Racing, car number 5 of Ronnie Johnson. Outside row number 2, the 91, 93, and 94 World 100 winner from Batesville, Arkansas. It's a Masters-built chassis for Billy Moyer. A 3-time winner of the World 100 back in 89, 92, and 96. In the car number 99 from Dresden, Ohio, the GM Performance Parts 99 is Donnie Moran. The Lanigan Auto 29 from Union, Kentucky, outside the front row, Darrell Lanigan. Your pole sitter from Millersburg, Ohio, in the 72, John Racing Mason. And as they come down the backstretch in the 4-wide driver's salute, you see the flash bulbs pop, the race fans standing and cheering, a capacity plus crowd here, and one of the greatest late model fields ever as we're set and ready to go for a very exciting 27th World 100. Let's review the lineup one more time. It's John Mason and Darrell Lanigan on the front row, Donnie Moran and Billy Moyer, a couple of 3-time winners in row number 2. Ronnie Johnson and Matt Miller in row 3, Dale McDowell and Jimmy Mars in row 4. Row 5, Terry Phillips and Kevin Weaver. Row 6, Mike Duvall and Bob Pullman. Row 7, Jack Boggs and Mike Jewell. Row 8, Booper Bear and Steve Francis. Row 9, Jerry Rice and Freddie Smith. Row 10, Scott Bloomquist and Rick Eckert. Row 11 is Wendell Wallace and Bob Pierce. Row 12, Rod Conley and Tim Hitt. And the field comes by, assembled nicely, getting the one-to-go signal. It has been a beautiful weekend for racing. The crowd, you can hear them in the background, is very, very excited to be here. On behalf of Eldora Enterprises and Motorsports Video, we think you're going to enjoy the 27th running of the World 100. John Mason and Darrell Lanigan in charge of the field. 100 racing laps, caution laps do not count. One of these drivers will be $30,000 richer. Who will it be? We'll know very, very quickly. The field now moving at a slow rate of speed down the backstretch. They won't start till they reach the white line in turn 4. Everyone begins to anticipate. The crowd standing in the turns. The light bulbs are flashing. The drivers ready their pace. And we're racing here at Eldora. It's 29, Darrell Lanigan jumping out to an early lead, leading the a thundering herd into turns 1 and 2. Nobody in trouble, and there's 99 Donnie Moran charging down underneath 72 John Mason for third. Ronnie Johnson up to fifth right now, and the field being led on lap 1 by 29 Darrell Lanigan with the Bazooka base tubes, 21 of Billy Moyer right behind, then 99 Donnie Moran in third, John Mason and Ronnie Johnson. Those are your top 5, and they lead the field down the backstretch. Moran challenging Moyer on the inside of turn number 4. He gets back in line going into turn number 1. Now works again to the inside of Moyer. Moyer with 4 men off the turn. He has to get out. The 72 of Mason has to get out of the gas as Moran gets sideways. And the field extends just a little bit. Pretty much single file through the turns. Occasionally cars trying to pass, but for the most part it's single file. Everyone realizing you don't win the race on the first lap. You win it on the last lap, and you've got to be there as well. Some of the cars getting sideways extensively include Freddie Smith at the back of the field. He's dropped back a couple of positions. Also 32 Bob Pierce. Let's check Scott Bloomquist now. He was one of the fast qualifiers. He was the fast qualifier for this event. Took one of the fast qualifier provisions. Right now he is mired in back of the field and not advancing. As we return to the front of the field, they go into turns 1 and 2. It's 99 Donnie Moran challenging 21 Billy Moyer. They're leading now into turn 3. Darrell Lanigan has led all the laps so far from Union, Kentucky. Lanigan, your leader. Boy, look at Moran as he tries to work to the inside of Batesville, Arkansas's Billy Moyer. Moran again with a move. Moyer, the experienced driver. Now there's contact in the turn. Moyer, using his experience, knowing that he'd get better, he'd get that race car turned better off the turn. Moyer continues in second. We'll see if there's any residual damage in these cars. You saw the contact there in turn number 2. Moyer and Moran putting on the show right now. In fact, your top 5 drivers have moved away from the rest of the field. The 7 out of Matt Miller is running in the 6th position, and behind him, the team of Dale McDowell. Try to keep you up to date on what's happening for all the cars here on the Speedway as time permits. Darrell Lanigan in turn 4, then Moyer and Moran. It looks like John Mason is getting to make a move on the 99 Moran car. Here, let's look back at the field where you see the 0 car coming off of turn 4. That's Scott Bloomquist right behind Rick Eckert. Bloomquist on the high side, working on Eckert right now. He's gained several positions. There he makes the pass on the backstretch. Freddie Smith is next in sight for Scott Bloomquist. Maybe it took a couple of laps to get some heat into those tires. There are no lap cars yet, for Darrell Lanigan does see the back of the field. Bloomquist now working on Freddie Smith of Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Freddie Smith hasn't won a World 100 before, but he would like to do that today. He's got a long ways to do it. Well, he and Scott Bloomquist are wired far back in the field. We have 10 laps, roughly 10 laps complete, 10 of the 100, and we're about to go into lap traffic with your leaders. That is 29, Darrell Lanigan, coming off the backstretch off of turn number 2 with Rod Conley, the 71R, in sight. Bloomquist continues to work his way around the 00 of Freddie Smith. And that is about 20, well, more than that, but not too far ahead of the leaders who are about to come on to the tail end of the field. The 71R of Rod Conley being passed right now by Darrell Lanigan, your leader. It's Lanigan to the inside of Rod Conley, and Conley goes a lap down. There's Moyer going underneath him as 72. John Mason now up to 3rd with Moran back to 4th. Next in sight for the leader, the 6M car. That's Wendell Wallace. Ooh, they're squeezing down to the low side, and Lanigan thinks better of it and decides not to charge, but Billy Moyer tries to get down under. There's some contact between your first and second place cars. This is a battle through lap traffic, and this is a battle for the lead. Lanigan, realizing that Moyer is there, has to get on the gas a little bit, and he may be a little more aggressive next time through that spooper barrel, the 00 right in front of him. He's gotten by the 6M Wallace car. Running in 3rd, 72, John Mason. He tapped the wall a little bit in turns 3 and 4. No damage there. Lanigan's gotten by Booper Bear, and now Billy Moyer does the same on the backstretch. 72 Mason now making his way through the field with Moran behind him. Running in fifth right now, it's 5, Ronnie Jensen. Lanigan with a little bit of clear space in front of him. Next up should be the 68 Tim Hit car. It looks like we have a car in trouble. It's the 00 Freddie Smith. The left front tire apparently has a problem there. You can see him running down to the low side. Apparently some suspension troubles for the 00 Freddie Smith car, and he's going to come to the stop on the front stretch. That'll be caution on the Speedway next time by. The caution out now. Freddie Smith, the Christenberry Trucking and Farms Curtis Equipment 00 comes to a stop. The left front tire has some damage to the race car, and so we have caution. 18 laps unofficially completed in the World's 100. We'll see what effect the short caution period had on the tires and on the race chassis for 29 Darrell Lanigan. He's your leader with 21 Billy Moyer in second. The 00 car of Booper Bear is a lapped car. 72 Mason in third, and we're back to racing. On a beautiful Saturday evening here at Eldora Speedway in Roseburg, Ohio. Lanigan will leader. Moyer in second. You can see Mason making his way on the high side of the racetrack. Moran in fourth. Johnson in fifth. Then the lapped car of Conley. The 7M of Matt Miller. After that, we're following the third, fourth, and fifth place cars down the backstretch right now. John Mason started on the pole of this event, and he's run top 5 through the first roughly 20 laps. A steady pace being set by the field. Scott Bloomquist up to about 15th position. As we look on back through the field, we'll keep charting his progress throughout the race as well. Right now, here's Donnie Moran down to the inside of the 72 John Mason car. No pass in turns 3 and 4 that time. The 17M of Dale McDowell challenges Matt Miller in the 7M. That's a battle for position. There's 75. Terry Phillips of Springfield, Missouri, trying to join that group and make a pass as well. That's the red 75 with B12 Kevin Weaver of Gibson City, a former UMP champion, close at hand as well. Down the backstretch, Miller leads McDowell and Weaver. Now we've got a car making a move underneath Weaver. Let's see what that is as they come on the turn. That'll be B4, Jack Boggs of Grayson, Kentucky. Boy, I'm here to tell you, they've got a lot of action, a lot of stars back in the field. This is roughly 8th through 12th positions. With lap cars, it's difficult to tell as we speak to you at the taping, but that is roughly 8th through 12th position, all on the lead lap, and you can see some mighty good racing going on with Weaver down to the inside of Phillips. No pass there, but Jack Boggs takes advantage. Jack Boggs out past the B12 Weaver car, and Boggs taps the wall and brings it around, and he gets another position. Boggs, your 95 winner of the World 100. He was the second round quick qualifier. Very quickly, we're going to be talking about the leaders being in lap traffic again as we continue to watch that battle in the mid-back. Let's see if Boggs can continue his movement forward. Bloomquist is right behind those cars as well. Bloomquist right now is making his move on the 15 Steve Francis car. And that's maybe 2 or 3 paces behind this battle right now that we're seeing as the cars begin to stack up through turns 3 and 4. Back to the leader. That's going into turn 4. It's 29, Darrell Lanigan, who really has made good work of this early portion of the 27th World 100. Lanigan leads Billy Moyer, who has not tried to make a pass. John Mason and Donnie Moran. That's the top 4, friends. They're about to come up on lap traffic, which will involve the F1, the Flintstone Flyer of Mike Duvall of Calpins, South Carolina, and the 32 of Bob Pierce, another former UMP, United Midwestern Promoter Series champion. It was back in '82 that Duvall won the World 100 in the Flintstone Flyer. Bob Pierce, the Murphy Trucking 32. right in front of the leaders as well. Let's watch to see if Mason is able to put the pass on 21 Moyer. Not this time. As they begin to work lap traffic, we have roughly 30 laps down. The unofficial is 30 laps long, and here's Lanigan making the move on the Flintstone Flyer. Duvall stays to the low side, and Lanigan is into lap traffic. Now Moran into third. Moran gets past John Mason. Moran on the low side. He tries to make the move on Billy Moyer. Unable to do so. It's Moyer in second and Moran in third. John Mason slips back to fourth. Lanigan sets his sights on Bob Pierce as they come down the backstretch. Right now there's 99 Moran working around the Flintstone Flyer, the lap F1 vehicle. Lanigan now about to make a pass on the 32 of Bob Pierce. Donnie Moran charging into turns 1 and 2. Lanigan on the low side, Pierce up high. Pierce holds him off. Pierce and the F1 car of Duvall were saved by that last caution period, as they would have been lapped within 2 or 3 laps. Pierce taking the outside line. Lanigan having to get out of that inside line, and that allows Billy Moyer to move right up close, and Donnie Moran is lurking there as well. Boy, lots of action, and here's Billy Moyer. Moyer to the inside of Lanigan, and Moyer takes over the lead now on the high side. Out of turn number 4, he tries to go around the 32 of Bob Pierce, and does so. We have a new leader in the 1997 World 100. That is Billy Moyer of Batesville, Arkansas. The 91, 93, and 94 winner of this event. There never has been a driver to win 4 World 100s. Will there be this year? Well, if it was to end right now, there would be. Billy Moyer, your leader. It's Lanigan in second, and right now Moran trying to make his way around the lap car of Bob Pierce. The Sportsman Pierce holding to the inside in that Stephen McCullough Motorsports car, and allowing Moran to get on by. 9, Mike Jewell goes a lap down as the Bazooka Base Tubes 21 moves around. It's a Masters-built chassis for 21 Billy Moyer, who right now is the Habitampa Series leader. We have caution on the Speedway. Caution on the Speedway. We have a car slowed in the backstretch and now coming in off the backstretch. And that is the reason for this caution period with 37 laps down. Off of turn 3 on the backstretch, you see sprint car driver Charlie Fisher, who builds the motors for Donnie Moran. He also drove one of Donnie Moran's cars in some of the early qualifying races. Last year's World 100 winner the chassis was driven by Charlie Fisher. You can see him there making some notes to Donnie Moran, currently running in the 3rd position as we receive the 1 to go. Billy Moyer takes the lead on lap 35. Not a great deal of attrition so far. It's Moyer, your leader, with Lanigan second, Moran third, Mason fourth, Ronnie Johnson in fifth. Then unofficially Matt Miller in the 7M car in the next position. Then the 17 of McDowell, the B4 of Boggs, and the 0 in very good fashion. Well, we had the 1 to go signal given. Apparently we need to get a car or 2 back in line. And that's the reason for this delay. Now it is 1 to go with Billy Moyer the leader, followed by Darrell Lanigan, Donnie Moran, 72 John Mason, 5 Ronnie Johnson, 32 Bob Pierce. The lapped car now pulls to the infield. We should tell you that 9 Mike Jewell got his lap back with that caution period. The 32 of Bob Pierce is stopped on the front stretch. You can see the Murphy trucking cars. They're going to do a little bit of work on that. He has gone a lap down. He may go another lap down here as the cars are accelerating to the green in turn 4. It is Billy Moyer leading them down with Lanigan, Moran, Mason, and Johnson rounding out the top 5. The 0 of Scott Blomqvist has unofficially moved into the top 10. He and Jack Boggs hooked up together and running on the low side throughout the field. And they have moved unofficially 9th and 10th positions. And we'll watch as Blomqvist moving down there to the low side. He is one of the movers, having started in the 19th position. Jack Boggs also starting back in the field. He started inside row number 7. So Blomqvist has come a little bit farther than Boggs has, but he's got a good rabbit out in front of him as Jack Boggs is pacing the way, and Scott Blomqvist is staying very close at hand. The Mooresburg, Tennessee driver, the race car powered by a Coronet racing engine, doing well here following Jack Boggs. Meantime, up front, it is Billy Moyer, your leader. He has established probably a 10-car length lead on 29, Darrell Lanigan. There you see a pass for the second position, roughly 40 laps into the event. We are 40 laps into the World 100. And Donnie Moran of Dresden, Ohio, takes the pass for second place. Darrell Lanigan appears to slow on the backstretch. Does he have a tire problem on the 29 car? Can't see from this angle, but Lanigan is moving slowly on the inside of the speedway. And no, all 4 tires is up, but he is moving very slowly. Tough break for Union Kentucky's Darrell Lanigan, who led many of the early laps in this event. Let's find the leader now as he comes to the flag stand. It's 21, Billy Moyer, Donnie Moran, and then John Mason, Ronnie Johnson, and 5th place belongs to Jack Boggs. 6th place to the 0 of Scott Blomqvist. And now no lap cars separate the first 6 drivers. If you look down the backstretch as Moyer enters turn 3, Blomqvist in the 6th position is just moving off of turn number 2. That's the distance between 1st and 6th place as we come up near the halfway point of this year's World 100. As I look to the infield, you see the 29 of Darrell Lanigan and 32 of Bob Pierce. Having retired from this event, the attrition begins to build just a little bit. Small challenge for the lead now as they go into turns 1 and 2. Moran looks like he wants to get a little bit racy with 21 Moyer down the backstretch. Moran running the low side, and they'll be on lap traffic within 4 or 5 laps. Much faster than the tail of the field. 9, Mike Jewell, who was lapped a little bit ago, saved by the caution, will be the first car in the sights of Moyer and Moran. They're the story so far, along with Jack Boggs. Oh, here's the potential pass for the lead. Moyer tries to take it back. 99, Moran with a slide job down underneath the 21 Moyer car. He has to adjust up in turn number 2, but we have a new leader, our 3rd leader for the World 100, and that is the 89, 92, and 96 winner of this event, Donnie Moran of the GM Performance. Car number 99, you see 9, Mike Jewell going a lap down. And Moyer quickly making his way past the Jewell automobile as well. Moyer is working his way back. Here's the cross flags. We are halfway through. Moyer begins to make his way back to try to pass the 99 Moran automobile. Right now, about 3 positions separate those two. In this battle for 5th or 6th place with the B4 of Jack Boggs and 0 of Scott Blomqvist. Blomqvist to the inside of Boggs. Blomqvist has followed Boggs throughout much of this event. And he was trying to make the pass up for position there, but unable to do so. The top 6, 99 Moran, 21 Moyer, 72 Mason, then 5 Ronnie Johnson, B4 Boggs, and the 6th place 0 Scott Blomqvist, your leader, about to go into traffic as we show you some of the action for 5th and 6th as well. Boy, a big set of cars in front of the 99 car. 68 Tim Hitt has been lapped, and you see battle on the low side there, really down low. Now Moran looks to the high side with the 27 of Bob Coleman of Oak Lawn, Illinois, 2nd generation driver, providing the target. Here's Moyer down low inside Moran. No pass accomplished. Tim Hitt, the 68, has just been lapped. Next back is John Mason. As they come down the front stretch, Coleman fighting to stay on that lead lap in the Fox Valley Excavating First Financial Concepts car. He's only been with this race team about a month. They've had a good deal of success here at Rossburg, Ohio this weekend. Here's Moyer staying right with the 99 Moran car, and now Mason getting past the 68 car of Tim Hitt, and Mason will soon join the battle for the lead as the leaders are in lap traffic, and that slows them up just a little bit. We come down the high banks, the backstretch at Eldora, with a whole flock of cars all in the lead lap. In front of the leaders, a little bit of a tap on the 27 Pullman car from Donnie Moran, trying to let him know that he's there and needs to get by, but Pullman, a racing veteran of the Chicagoland area for many years, not making an easy way for him to go. Bloomquist moving to the inside now. Bloomquist under the Ronnie Johnson car. He's already gotten by Jack Boggs. We were unable to show you that because we were concentrating on the leaders in lap traffic. It's Bloomquist underneath former teammate Ronnie Johnson. Bloomquist now to fourth. Bloomquist to fourth place on the low side. You can't pass them where they're running, and Bloomquist making good use of the low side underneath the Mike Jewell race car. Meantime, the leader, 99 Donnie Moran, is still having a hard time with 27 Bob Pullman. This year's dream winner, 28 Jimmy Mars, also in front of the leaders, and lap traffic will tell part of the story here. Now 27 Pullman moves to the inside, and Moran makes his way by. Jimmy Mars in the 28 car also has been lapped. Moyer following through the field, so does John Mason. The Mars car slows to the inside of the speedway with some body damage on there. Now let's look to the backstretch. There's 99 Moran going to the high side around the 15 of Steve Francis and the 24 of Rick Eckert. And Bloomquist continues to work through the lap traffic as well. There's Bloomquist going underneath the 72 Mason car in a battle for third right now. B12 Kevin Weaver falls prey to the 99 of Donnie Moran. 99 Moran, your leader, with Mason in second, and now Bloomquist challenging for that second position. Bloomquist started 19th, and right now he is running third, challenging for that second place. We should tell you that the 21 Moyer car is right behind 99 Moran, able to stay with him most of the way through a heavy spate of lap traffic. The Matt Miller car right in front of your leader, 99 Donnie Moran, and Matt Miller goes to a lap down. Bloomquist continues to work underneath the 72 Mason car. Bloomquist to second. Check Bloomquist to third now with Moran, your leader. Moyer in second and Bloomquist in third. And all of your leaders heavily involved in lap traffic. 2 or 3 more cars to pass for 99 Donnie Moran. He gets by Mike Duvall. 2 cars back in the running order, 21 Billy Moyer, and 3 cars back from that, 0 Scott Bloomquist. Then 1 car back to 72 John Mason. That's your top 4 or 5. Ronnie Johnson unofficially running in the 5th position. Only 75. Terry Phillips stands between Donnie Moran and a long stretch of clean speedway. No cars separate the first and second place cars, but there is probably a straightaways link between the two as the light blue race cars of 99 Donnie Moran and 21 Billy Moyer pace the field. Bloomquist in third is probably a quarter of the length of the speedway behind Moyer, so he'll have some catching up to do. Unofficially, 5 or 6 cars are left on the lead lap as we have had very few caution periods in this event, and many of the cars have gone at least 1 lap down. Here is your leader, 99 Donnie Moran, 21 Billy Moyer in second, 0 Scott Bloomquist in third, 72 John Mason 5, Ronnie Johnson, P4 Jack Boggs. And I believe that completes the listing of cars who are on the lead lap. So we will try to keep you up to date on these drivers' progress. Terry Phillips has really held his line and held his position in front of the 99 car. Terry Phillips may also be one of those cars on the lead lap. As you can tell as you view this tape, we are working as we see these race cars. We see somebody moving slowly. I think that's the F1, the Flintstone Flyer of Mike Duvall. Duvall moving slowly. And it looks like he will move into the pit area, and that means no caution period. No caution period for the Mike Duvall car. Well, your top three cars are within probably the straightaway length of each other, and a caution period sure would tighten things up. Moran, the GM Performance 99, continues to chase on Terry Phillips. His dad Larry, a longtime competitor in the NASCAR series, and Phillips is passed by Moran and really begins to accelerate down the backstretch. Blomqvist trying to make a pass on the 24 Rick Eckert car. Blomqvist to the low side, and Blomqvist successfully completes the pass. We'll watch now to see how he advances on Billy Moyer. We are entering the latter stage of this race. A long green flag period. And the zero car beginning to gain some ground on 21, Billy Moyer. Scott Blomqvist has had a tremendous run in this year's World 100. The Coronet Racing Engine zero car running the group that most cars are not. That's down on the low side. You see him sliding up high there. But he has basically done it by passing cars on the low side. And he is using that lower groove to make up ground on the cars in front of him. There's another advancement on 21, Billy Moyer of Batesville, Arkansas, where the first and the second place cars have 3 wins, are looking to be the first driver ever to win 4 World 100s. Scott Blomqvist would like to add to his World 100 total as well. Blomqvist decides to get in line and ride the high groove as Rod Conley goes a lap down, another lap down to Donnie Moran. Moran's just entering turn 3 now with Moyer in the middle of the backstretch. Right now, 80 laps down, 80 laps down unofficially, so just 20 laps to go. And of course, the drivers want to be the fastest at the end of the race. And they want to have the tire on that has the most adhesion to the racetrack at the end of the race. Faster at the end of the race, you have a distinct advantage, but you must obey the rules, and that involves weighing at least 2,300 pounds. Blomqvist underneath the 21 Moyer car, as he may be receiving some signals from his crew. The time is short now, and we are inside 20 laps to go on the World 100. Blomqvist up to second. There are 2-lap cars between Blomqvist and Moran. Right now, it looks like Blomqvist is slightly faster than Donnie Moran. Continues to advance, but we don't know that Donnie Moran isn't saving his tires a little bit, having a comfortable lead on the field. Moran rather going out of turn number 2 right now, and Blomqvist with a car spinning. The 7 minor car spins and collects the 0 car. Now the 21 car of Billy Moyer also involved. Moyer runs into Blomqvist on the backstretch. Blomqvist never stopped. Moyer has come to a stop on the backstretch. Oh my! The fates have struck. With less than 20 laps to go, a lap car spins in front of Scott Blomqvist, collects Blomqvist. Billy Moyer is collected by Blomqvist. There's contact between those 2 cars, and there are 83 laps down. We'll sort it all out. This is one they're going to talk about, the 27th World 100. A tough break for Billy Moyer, the GVS racing team. Billy Moyer of Batesville, Arkansas, pulls to the infield, running top 5, and had a little bit of difficulty. Couldn't avoid running into the Scott Blomqvist car as Matt Miller had spun in front of them, and that made a very, very tough way to go with just 17 laps of racing action left. The World 100 will get the green flag next time by. 99, Donnie Moran, your leader. The Bloomquist car also suffered some body damage and perhaps some right front suspension damage. Difficult to tell if that right front side is towed out. You can see that the body is wrinkled up underneath the race car. Don't know how that will affect the aerodynamics of the car, and we don't know how the suspension's been affected. We'll have to wait till they get back to green to see. 72, John Mason running in third. B4, Jack Boggs, and 5, Ronnie Johnson. Those are the cars unofficially on the lead lap. One lap car, that's Rod Conley between Moran and Bloomquist, as we're back to racing with 17 laps to go. And unofficially 5 cars on the lead. Jack Boggs beginning to move on John Mason. Dale McDowell gets sideways in front of Boggs. That's the battle for third right now, and they're side by side coming off of turn number 4. Mason, then Boggs, Ronnie Johnson several cars behind at that point. Donnie Moran is running away from Scott Bloomquist, and everybody, he realizes that the laps are a precious few. You know that Charlie Fisher has the truck board on the backstretch. Boggs hit the wall hard in his battle with the 72 Mason car on the right side, a little bit wrinkled in. Mason in third, Boggs in fourth. And everybody's going for broke here in the latter laps of the World 100. That groove, of course, that cushion right up against the wall after lots of racing laps here on Saturday night. Boggs and Moran, Boggs and Mason still in a good battle for third and fourth. Here's Boggs down. He slides in front. Contact with John Mason. He taps the right rear with the wall and the left front. Boy, lots of contact with 72 John Mason and B4 Jack Boggs. This is the competition on the Speedway. One lap car between Mason and Boggs and Ronnie Johnson. Right now, Donnie Moran is running off. Scott Bloomquist is second. Those cars are not in competition with anyone, so we're showing a tight battle for third right now. Check third, fourth, and fifth, actually. Although Mason and Boggs and Johnson have really been competing and swapping a little sheet metal and having a little contact with the cement. They are still going all out for the world's most prestigious late model race. Mason, who as Boggs got past, was tapped. You can see on the left front side, the plastic is gone. We have 10 laps to go. The plastic is bent up, perhaps rubbing on. There is no tire smoke to be seen, but you wonder how that's affecting the handling of the race car. It appears to be wrestling with it just a little bit. Right now, Ronnie Johnson appears to be the one who wants to make a move on Jack Boggs. Boggs, the right side, is wrinkled considerably from contact with the wall. With less than 10 laps to go, it is Donnie Moran who is going past the 17 of McDowell. He is a full straightaway length ahead of Scott Bloomquist. Bloomquist is going into turn 1 as Moran is nearly entering turn 3 right now. The battle is 3, 4, and 5, and right now these cars have begun to separate just a little bit. Donnie Moran would be the first four-time World 100 winner and a back-to-back winner of this event as well, taking the GM Performance Parts car number 99 to victory lane if he holds his current position, and frankly, he would have to suffer a mechanical problem. Even though he capped the wall there, turns 1 and 2, he is way ahead of the field. The 17 McDowell car retires to the infield as we have approximately 12 cars still running on the Speedway. Unofficially 5 cars on the lead lap, and we have unofficially 5 laps left to go. Let's check on that 3, 4, and 5 battle right now. You can see the flagman showing the field 5 fingers, 5 laps with John Mason, Jack Boggs, and Ronnie Johnson up in turn number 2. Battle for third, fourth, and fifth. Boggs down to the inside of Mason as Mason has Terry Phillips right in front of him. Phillips in the red CRT chassis with Mason right behind. Mason doesn't negotiate that turn very well. That could allow Jack Boggs to move underneath him. Boggs has been, there's Boggs with a move to third. Jack Boggs of Grayson, Kentucky, up to third place. Now Ronnie Johnson will try to make that pass. Let's join the leader, who is probably, if we had many more laps to go, would be up on this third, fourth, and fifth place battle. He is that far ahead. He is a full half speedway ahead with now 1 lap to go when next time he comes by. He's a half a lap ahead of the field from Dresden, Ohio. Johnny Moran with 1 more lap to go. Moran with Mike Jewell in front of him will not press it at this stage of the game. He knows he is well out in front of the field, and he will become the first 4-time winner of the World 100. Donnie Moran, your winner. There's the checkered. Now, second place goes to the gentleman that started 19th. He set a new track record, Scott Bloomquist of Mooresburg, Tennessee, the Coronet Racing Engines entry. Then lap cars, Jack Boggs third, John Mason tapping the wall as he comes across in fourth, and 5, Ronnie Johnson in fifth. Everyone comes around the speedway. I can pretty much assure you that they'll run the low side, making sure they get a lot of that mud on the race car before they come across the scales. In the blue car, number 99, accepting the accolades of race fans from across the nation. 23 states and Canada represented here in the 240-plus racers, plus thousands and thousands of race fans. You see him coming to the scales right now. There's Scott Bloomquist going across the scales in front of the leader. Then it'll be 21, Billy Moyer, going across. This is a very important time, friends, because if these cars do not pass technical inspection weighing at least 2,300 pounds, they'll be disqualified. There's Bloomquist getting the okay. Next up, it'll be 21, Billy, check it, I'm sorry, that'll be the B4 of Jack Boggs of Grayson, Kentucky. Jack Boggs getting the okay from the president of United Western Promoters in its 14th year, Bob Member. And here is your winner on the scale, the GM Performance 99. We'll watch for the hand signal from Bob Member, congratulating your winner. A little bit of suspense here. And he gets the thumbs up. There it is, your winner, 99, Donnie Moran. Congratulations on the 4th World 100. This is unbelievable.
Just, what can you say? Eldora, you know, great place. Earl did a wonderful job. The crowd, the cars, that GM Performance Masterbuilt just works great.
But you did a great job, and your crew did a great job as well.
Oh, yeah. Toma Johnson, the crew chief, he did an outstanding job. We've been working hard this summer. We knew we had a good shot at the dream. We kind of broke a little bit. A piece broke on the car suspension. We come back. We knew we'd had a good shot this weekend. We've been running pretty strong here lately. And, you know, we was just happy when we qualified 4th yesterday. And then take it one step at a time. You do that. And then you take your heat race. We finished first in the 4th heat, and that started as 3rd, and we was in 3rd, and we was in 4th, and we was trying to get into 2nd, and we was in 4th, and, you know, then we 3rd, then we 2nd, and then, you know, then I got by Billy there, and, you know, everything worked great.
Did you know you could do it?
Well, you never know. I mean, you never know what's going to happen. But anything's possible, and, you know, here we are.
Let's talk about the start of the race, because it was such close competitive racing up there. And then also want to talk about the lap traffic, too, because that was a major component of this race.
Well, yeah, you know, the competitiveness of this dirt late model racing today is just unbelievable. You know, like, used to come here, and there used to be like 3 or 4 seconds difference in times. The top 120 was within a second, I believe, this time. And, you know, the top 36, the way they do the inversion, I think it was within a half a second. So, you know, look how competitive this is getting, you know, the way the dirt track changes a little bit, you know, throughout the night, and, you know, everybody's that close on times.
And lap traffic?
Yeah, it was pretty heavy there. You know, we got going a little bit, and, you know, just like the commercials, you got to slice and dice and, you know, pick your spot, and that's what we did. And, you know, we got through it pretty good.
Let's talk about the last 17 laps as well.
We started off there, and Charlie Fisher Builder Engines from Fisher Motorsports He had a pit board and told me that there's that many laps to go, and he knew there was a couple lap cars in between us, and he told me the 0 car was in second place, and he started giving me signals after we had to restart and kind of took off a little bit.
Congratulations on a great 4th World 100.
Well, thank you very much. Sure do appreciate it.